Hello, everybody, and you're very welcome to the Radio Castledermot Sports Special. I am delighted to be back with you again this year. We gave it a go last year. We got sports back up and running after lockdown. We gave you a couple of live reports from games. We had some interviews. We had lots going on, and we were locked down again. So we've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and sports is back up. We covered a couple of games today, and we wanted to kick off the sports season with highlighting one of the local clubs and their fundraisers and their activities at the moment. We have Castledermot GA coming on pretty soon as well in the next week or two, so we're lining that up. But tonight, I am delighted to be joined by Stephen Rooney and Shane Brennan from Castlevilla. So thank you very much, Shane and Stephen, for joining me tonight.
No problem.
No worries. Good to be on.
Good stuff. So we are going to highlight tonight the latest Castlevilla fundraiser, which is the Golf Classic taking place in Kilkee Castle on the 20th of June. But I suppose before we jump directly into the Golf Classic, Stephen, the last couple of weeks has seen a return to play. The gates have been opened up in Killarney again. There's been plenty of action. So what's it been like around the club in the last couple of weeks? Very relieved, I would imagine.
Well, I tell you, very busy and very exciting up there. We kicked off there recently with bringing back our academy and getting the children out playing again, and we've had a huge turnout. It was great to see. Where these children have been hiding the last few years, I'm not sure, but my God, they've come out in droves in the last few weeks, out in droves. Lots of challenges for us. We're still not quite out of COVID environment, so all the coaches and all the teams are managing things with our hygiene measures and our distancing, and we're working fairly well together on it. I suppose I'll just mention very quickly the academy. And now the academy goes from about 6 years old up to 13 years old at the moment. We have older underage kids playing as well at the under 14 and under 16, which they've got their competitive season that's going to be kicking off again now in about 2 weeks' time. And the academy itself, well, all I can say is that we've had huge voluntary and community spirit over in Villa. And if anything, it's what brought me back to Castledermot. Those of you that might recognise me, I was much skinnier back many years ago, a lot more hair. But I've come back to Castledermot to basically for my kids to get involved in sports and activity. And it really started off with the ladies' women's team many years ago. My two girls, I used to bring them to all the matches and they loved it. When they finally got old enough to want to play themselves, I couldn't get them to play anywhere else. I had to come over to Castlevilla. And from there, well, what can I say? We've had lots of teams growing since then. Lots of girls' involvement in it. Great to see the number of teams that have grown up over the years. In fact, my eldest daughter is even coaching at this stage. So very good. The whole family is involved. The whole family.
That's brilliant. Well, I've been hearing all positive things, Stephen, about that academy. Everybody within Castlevilla and outside Castlevilla knows that you have been doing fantastic work in that club recently. But that academy is definitely a shining light at the moment, and it seems to be really kicking off again in the last couple of weeks.
Well, with regards to the academy, I think we just really need to highlight the community and voluntary spirit. The number of people that have volunteered to act as coaches and managers to help the kids come along. I'll just call out first names because it'll take me a long time to call out all the names. But like Shane there himself, he's involved in the under sixes and under sevens. He'll be training kids on Sunday mornings at 11 o'clock. So anyone who's out there that wants to come along to that, Shane's eager to train loads of people and go mad with loads of kids running around.
Yeah, it's good exercise for my legs and my voice. What else will you be doing on a Sunday morning, sure?
That's it. Like the number of coaches, I said, we've got Lee Doyle, we've got Nicole Salmon, Sorka, my daughter, we've got Matthew Robinson, Kevin Hayden, Lorraine Galvin. We've got Jackie Kavanagh involved in the girls' teams. We got John Robinson, of course, Mick Connolly and Jason that have been there for many years now with the older underage teams. And recently, we've got some of, which I can't call legends because they get very insulted regards ages, but I'll call them real players of the likes of Roy and Geordie getting involved. And they're very, very eager to get an under 11s, under 12s coming to play with us. That come winter, we can have an under 13 team.
That's brilliant.
That I can say is it's great to see all the involvement in it. Even last week, we have 2 more volunteers, parents stepping forward. I've got their Garda vetting forms, and they're going through the processes, and hopefully in a few weeks' time, they'll be able to help us out. It'd be great. Yeah.
That's absolutely fantastic. It's great to hear the likes of Roy and Jordy going in as well, because those are like, you know, 2 of the top players at the club at the moment, and you would hope a lot of the academy players will grow up and they'll see the likes of, I know when I was younger, growing up watching Castlevilla and going down and watching the likes of the Wedger and Sid and even Alan in goals, you know, watching these guys that were absolutely fantastic players. You know, it made me want to go down training on a Tuesday and Thursday. I suppose with a lot of those people coming in and helping out in the club, it helps as well when the likes of Fundraiser does actually come around. And the difficulties, especially over the past year, because you have clubs, they have, like you see the GA have their big draw coming up now in July, which takes a lot of effort as well. Castlevilla have the golf classic, but they also have the likes of a race night, and they have their own draws as well, depending on, maybe might get some tickets. So there's a lot of help needed around that as well. So I suppose during lockdown was difficult. You couldn't have any fundraisers, but you kept that lotto going. And that lotto now is up to a pretty tasty figure at the moment. So that must have helped out the club a lot over the past year.
It did. Without a doubt, the lotto kept us running there last year. And I don't know if many people actually remember, but for about 6 months, we actually hadn't the lotto running at all. So we had, the club was shut down, the fundraisers were shut down, the lotto was shut down. And for a while, it was looking concerning. And what many people don't realize is that Castlevilla they're self-funding. Everything they do is from what they can raise and the community's involvement and sponsors, the generous sponsors that are out there to help us out. Last year we had to cancel our race night. We ended up having to cancel again this year. Hopefully we can get it more postponed than cancelled. We'll run it hopefully by the end of the year when we can all get together again. I'll be optimistic here.
As you have to be.
That's it. We had our electric picnic draw that we were running last year that we had to again cancel because the electric picnic didn't take place. But hopefully we'll be able to run that draw again this year because we still have tickets there that someone could win.
Yeah.
So if that event goes ahead, we have that available too. And as you mentioned, it was the golf and our golf classic. Luckily, last year we were able to run the golf classic. We got that space of it. Where the lockdown opened up for a period of time, we got out onto the courses and we were able to raise some much needed funds for the club. And this year we're planning to run it again, as you mentioned, on the 20th of June. I'm hoping that lots of parents, lots of supporters, lots of people in the community can come out and have a go at it.
Yeah, I suppose that again just kind of nicely brings us along to the golf classic, because it's such an important fundraiser for Castlevilla, but it's such a big event as well. I mean, it's going on a long time. When it comes down to the classic as well, the format of the classic as well, that's why we brought in Shane, because Shane has played this for the last couple of years and he knows his golf, he likes his golf, and he knows this tournament. So Shane, I was wondering, could you maybe bring us through? A lot of people like they hear words like scramble and 4 balls and all these different things that you hear around the place. So maybe you could take us through exactly the layout of the Castlevilla Golf Classic and how it works.
Yeah, so it's fairly simple. You generally turn up in a team of 4. To use example, the first year I played in here, I didn't play golf at all up until I played my first Castlevilla Golf Classic a couple of years ago. So I was completely useless. I couldn't drive a ball 10 yards. But the good thing is you get basically 4 people taking a shot. They take their tee off. You could have 3 people maybe hitting into the woods, and 1 person gets it into the fairway, and it's a good shot. And you play your second shot from whichever is the best ball, basically. So sort of as a team, you can sort of collaborate and sort of take your shots that way, which depending on who you're playing with can be pretty interesting, because last year I was out with a cousin of mine who's a very risky player. So you could have him going out first trying to play the shot, which, you know, you want to be a lunatic to try. And then afterwards, if that doesn't work out, have somebody just sort of play it safe. And you know, then once somebody plays it safe, you can sort of go from there. So it's a good day out for if we get a day that's half as sunny or half as nice as it was last year, the last 2 years actually. It'll be a fantastic day out. And it's also good practice as well if you want to sort of be a bit sort of experimental and daring in your play. If you're a kind of golfer who's sort of who's decent and can play a good shot without sort of risking ruining your team's score, because you can get somebody else to sort of play the safer shot. But yeah, it's the thread today anyway. It's 4 people would take a shot. then your second shot will all be from the same spot, whichever one you pick is best. Continue on until you finish off in the hole. And also throughout the day, there is a competition for the longest drive, which is on the 7th hole, I think, and then a competition for close to the pin, which is the 10th hole. So basically, tee off who gets the closest.
It is. I know from my own experience, it is a fantastic day. So it's great to hear the likes of yourself, speaking about your experience. And you mentioned that you were playing with a cousin of yours last year. So if you could, have you any really good memories from the Golf Classic for the last couple of years? Because everybody does. Or who was on your team? It's always a bit of crack.
Yeah, so my team last year, which I think is a team this year as well, was myself, my dad, Mick Brennan, who is notorious in Radio Castledermot circles, I believe, as well as a cousin, my uncle and my cousin on my dad's side of the family who came down to play. And it's really weird because both of them have the same kind of quirk where every time they hit the ball, it goes a million miles right. So they'd be on the tee box, pointing the ball like about 30 degrees to the left of where it actually ends up going. Well, I'd say the best memory is I think it was on the 15th or the 16th hole. Whatever way the approach shot was, the best shot we had at the green was in the bunker. It was the shot I hit into the bunker. We were all walking up to him. We sort of looked at each other and said, right, lads, put a fiver each into the pot to see who can get close to the hole. Dad gets up anyway, hits the ball, gone. I think it landed in Balator or something. I just I don't know where it went. He completely overhit it. I don't know what he was thinking. My uncle came up, whatever, hit the ball out past the green. Well, it wasn't really getting close to the hole. And the bunker was fairly close to the green now. It wasn't a million miles out. Just a very sort of little chip shot. And all day, my cousin, the way he'd be that sort of daring player I was talking about earlier, who might sort of go for the really sort of daring, sort of dangerous shot. But every time he tried it and he got a good shot, somebody would come after him and play one better. So even though he played a brilliant shot that you wouldn't think he'd make, somebody would come along and one up him. And he was convinced as well. He got into the bunker. He was like, right, I'm having this. Chipped it and left it about 4 feet away from the hole. And he's there rubbing his hands together. I think he's getting a fiver off all of us. And sure, I get up, rob the sandwich out of my dad's bag because the one I had was at the time was a bit useless. Got up there and just chipped it. And I left it about 2 inches away from the hole, and he was absolutely sickened. So not only did we end up getting an easy putt for par, I think it was, I ended up getting a few quid off some family members. So
that is definitely a good memory. And Stephen, I'm pretty sure as well, and I'm going to put it up on the screen as I'm saying this. We have video evidence of Mick Brennan putting in from about 6 feet.
Without that, my favorite memory of the golf, anyway.
We had all heard about this before I'd seen it on the video. So that should have played by now. So I hope you all enjoyed that. That was the well-known Mick Brennan putting in on was that the 9th, was it?
No, that's the 18th, wasn't it?
The 18th, yeah. Even better. So that's fantastic, lads. There's some really good memories. Hopefully you can stir the interest. So Stephen, somebody's looking at this video and they've decided, I want to register for the Golf Classic. Your number is at the bottom of the screen. It's scrolling across there since we began. But you can register online. You can easily register online. So how do people do that?
If you enter into the Castlevilla Facebook page, there's a link there, and you click on that link and you go into Club Force, and like you would buy a lotto ticket, you can enter the competition, and it's based on the number of teams. You could, if you're very ambitious, lots of friends, you can enter up to 4 teams.
Yeah, very good.
Most people, I think, it'd be 1 team at a time, but it's fairly straightforward.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people can give me a ring or maybe text me in case I'm working and I might not be able to answer the phone, and just give me their details and I'll come back to them and we'll arrange tee times, etc.
Brilliant. Okay, guys, all I can say is thank you very much. That was very entertaining, I must say. I'm looking forward to the Golf Classic anyway, because I remember last year, the year before, I don't know if too many people know Kilkee Castle, but my ball didn't make it across the river from the first tee box. So that is about 15 yards. So that shows you the value of a scramble, where there's other people behind you that can hit it 25 or 30 or 230 yards. So lads, thanks very much for coming on. It's been absolutely brilliant. I look forward to talking to you guys again in the future about different activities with Castle Villa. I hope you'll come on as well. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as me. Everybody else, thank you very much. It is great to be back for Radio Castledermot Sports and trying to get a little bit more interaction with the rest of the community. And of course, we have the GA coming up. We're going to have lots of individual interviews coming up over the next couple of months. Thank you very much to Shane Brennan and Stephen Rooney from Castle Villa. I'm Thomas O'Connell. Thank you very much. See you soon.